So, my choice for one of my favorite boss battles, also probably one of the hardest boss battles in video game history, is the secret boss battle with Sephiroth in the first Kingdom Hearts.
Sephiroth! Sephiroth!
He's not even an actual boss you fight throughout the actual main storyline of the game. Once you're done with the game, you can go back and find him.
The Colosseum.
Yeah, you go into the Hercules world from the movies, and he's in the Colosseum. And as you go through all the tiers and tiers and tiers of the Colosseum, I think when you get to like tier 100, he is the final Colosseum boss.
My favorite villain in a game too, I was going to discuss it, was Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII. So we're just going to like combine those two into one answer real quick and say Sephiroth in general, no matter what the game format, is pretty awesome. He was also pretty cool in that movie fight that he had. What was the Advent Children?
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, where it has the craziest weird story that makes no sense. I have no idea what the happened in that movie, but I know Sephiroth shows up at the end and is badass. I kind of liked Knights of the Old Republic. The bad guy, the main villain, was you.
Yeah, no!
Right?
Oh, no!
So it's like...
Spoilers.
I don't know. If you haven't played the game, it's like 20 years old or something. I don't know. It's old.
KOTOR.
Yeah,
But
that's the...
We've discussed it before, and so that's kind of a favorite villain, because there was nothing cooler than me, because I like to play evil, and you get to choose, do evil or good in that game, and I always win evil, hardcore evil.
So, Lone Star, now you see that evil will always triumph, because good is dumb.
So to find out that they build up this bad guy like Darth Vader, and when you find out that it's actually you through the events of you actually have like amnesia. So you were Darth Vader, and then because of an explosion, you lose your memory, and the Jedi think they need you to help solve this new evil that's shown up because of something that you actually unleashed when you were Darth Vader. And they're like, the only one who can stop it, who's strong enough, is you. So we're gonna just try to mind screw him until he can be good again, right? Nice. And you get to choose. Like, you can come back to the good side, but I always went back to the dark side. And so at the end, when I fought the main bad guy, when you beat him, I just took control and became it's like, now it's my fleet, and I'm still gonna kill everybody, and it's the best. So
I really like the Mario movie. They really like try to build like a storyline of why this world was created, and I feel like it does a lot of the things that series nowadays and even movies are doing, which is this kind of like, let's put this mind into like, how does this work, which was not being done in the 80s, which we talked about this before, which is in the 80s anything was possible, and it because, you know, movies.
Come on, man! I got a bomb here! I'll kill her! I'll blow this whole place up!
Go ahead. I don't shut her.
But this one's like, no, like, why would there be like a dinosaur world and what would be like a real world? There must be a thing that links between them. I don't know, I just like that kind of thinking.
Why did so much revolve around them being plumbers? Like, their plumbing skills were the focal point of the story.
Also that, but at the same time, I think that...
Because historically, Mario is a plumber.
No, I understand that he's a plumber. No one's disputing the fact that he's known as a plumber.
No, but why the movie?
But why is that the focal point of the story, when the focal point is always him going to this magical land
Bowser,
and trying to rescue the princess?
Yeah, and also the whole story behind the production is insane.
I'm with you on, I like Street Fighter, so Van Damme Street Fighter, to me, I watched it until the tape got fuzzy. Like on VHSs, if you watch it too much, you know, the tracking would kick in and it would be like fucking fuzzy.
I love that terrible movie too.
Yeah.
The battle scene with Zangief and E Honda where it looks like an old Godzilla. Like,
I liked it all.
Yeah.
So good.
Why don't I like the Batman? First, I don't like its fans. They always blew it up to make like this big thing for me. Like at the end, for me, it's always a crazy man in a suit.
See, with sports, there's a lot of toxicity in the fan bases too.
Yeah.
You can't let that because there's so many great players and teams who have douchebag fans. Because I'm a Tom Brady lover, and I understand that there are a lot of fans of the Patriots and Tom Brady who won't shut up. There'll be nothing. You just talk about blah 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 blah, and they'll bring up Tom Brady for no reason. Like I just do.
Guaranteed first ballot Hall of Famer. Now let's get my hand job into this red Solo Cup.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Right? So, because we love him. But that said, don't let the fans dissuade you. Come on. You
Yeah,
gotta
I
have more than
know,
that.
I know, but it's like sometimes I can't have like a nice conversation about like being critical of Batman because they're like, but no, like this, like yeah, but this.
What
like,
are you
yeah,
critical
but
of Batman for, though? Give me some specifics.
like, I do like Batman. There's some runs that I do like, but most of the times I do not like this overly prepared, super intelligent mastermind that can take the Justice League all on its own. It's like.
But that is Batman.
You have to understand. You
know.
have to understand.
I
that
know, but I don't
Batman's-
like that whole mythos of like.
He's the greatest detective of all time. He is the greatest mind. There's nobody in DC Comics, good or bad, that is more intelligent than Batman.
I will say, I don't like how he can be the smartest in all the universe. Because literally they're alien beings who have brains more powerful than ours. How could it... It's impossible for
But
him
you have
be
to
smarter.
remember that when Batman initially came out, it was Detective Comics. So he was a detective. He didn't deal with aliens and all
Okay.
that stuff the way Superman did.
But let's look at
so
this
he was
way.
always dealing with just criminals.
Like Watchmen, Manhattan. The way he says to the guy, the world's smartest human is no more than the world's smartest ant to me.
The world's smartest man poses no more threat to me than does its smartest termite.
which is going to be actually super interesting because in the new DC Comics that's happening right now, Batman has gotten a hold of Rorschach's journal. So he knows everything that's happening with the minutes to midnight and like the countdown to the doomsday clock. So like the worlds are starting to merge.
But I don't know, like one of the other reasons I don't like Batman is like more how this myth of him being like the greatest human ever, and then
There's no
like,
myth.
Huh?
He's the greatest human ever.
Yeah, that's the thing. And then like writers coming into that myth and just like
That was a joke. I'm sorry.
no, it's fine.
He's like, Brush, I understand this. This is
like, I
serious.
understand like there's, but the thing is like you
Tom
okay,
Brady's the greatest human ever. We've already established that. Like,
You're an adult with a poster of this guy in your f***ing room. You tell him you don't want this? Yeah, I want it.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
the same complaint that you have about Superman is the same one I have about Batman. He's always has a thing. For Superman to get like his like cold air, he has like a thing in his belt.
chance favors the prepared mind.
Yeah,
That's an Under Siege 2 quote, everybody. Under Siege Part 2. Batman. Let's go. Let me check this off real quick.
yeah.
Cartoon series. I think the Batman animated series is generally acknowledged by most people to be the very best.
Animated series
Yeah.
ever, first off.
At least the very best animated superhero series, if nothing else. Okay, so let's just keep it at that, so it's not smaller,
Yeah,
so I don't get like Dragon Ball Z. And stuff, you know, but
okay.
so let's say Batman is the greatest superhero comic or superhero animated series. Batman is also, in my opinion, the greatest superhero movie of all time, which is The Dark Knight. And the whole trilogy as a whole is definitely the best trilogy. Even if you don't like the third one, it's better. Those three movies are better than any other set of three superhero movies that you can possibly find.
Yeah.
Best video game, arguably with the Asylum, the Arkham
Yes,
Asylum
Arkham,
games.
The
is really
Arkham
good.
franchise, yeah.
You got the best video games series ever made off of a superhero, right? Because Superman games have always sucked. Always.
But I bet you love that N64.
Yeah.
Superman. One of my favorite franchises in video game history is the Metal Gear Solid franchise. And going back to Metal Gear Solid for the original PlayStation, one of the best and probably most unique boss battles in a video game is when you go up against Psycho Mantis. And he can read your memory card. And
Oh, you like Azure Dreams? You like Castlevania, don't you?
he manipulates the way you can actually use the physical controller. And you have to like swap it out to the player 2 port to be able to fight him so that he's not making you walk around all wonky and...
Which was actually, like, to me, it was so annoying because it was annoying because they don't tell you that.
Yeah.
What if we switch the controller to port 2? And then it works, and you're like, what the f***? Come on. Like, but I get it. That's what they had to do in the day.
Yeah.
Was make crazy ass, like, someone in a room thought about that, and they just loved themselves.
You know that person got a raise.
Yeah. I know about that.
Yeah,
This
and
is
his name
hilarious.
is Hideo Kojima, and he's made a lot of games.
I like to do bosses that have, like, a thing. you can't beat him until you figure out what that thing is. Like, oh, that's the thing, and then you beat him, you know, with that thing. For instance, the Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Oh yeah.
The last boss, we died so many times on him, and then we couldn't figure out that you had to like hit his. He would shoot these magical like bullets at you, and you had to like bat him back like tennis, and then it would hit him. And we didn't. That nobody else in the game had that a thing where you had to hit it back. So that didn't occur to us. We tried to block it. You tried to do all these things, and we couldn't. And you died so many times, and there's this sense of reward when you finally it dawns on you. Like, that's what you do, and then it's like his ass is yours. It's like the Matrix.
He's like, oh, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
I know kung fu.
I like it when you get your ass kicked the whole movie, and then you get to flip the script, and you're like, I know now what I must do.